This week we're going to highlight USDA's monthly supply-demand report that will come out on Thursday, April 10th. Then we're going to turn our attention to South America, specifically looking at Brazil, where early corn is now pollinating as we move forward here into April. We're going to come back and look at an active U.S. export program for corn and going to wrap things up with a long-term review of December corn futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We've moved into the month of April, and there's certainly a lot going on at the moment. At the top of our list this week, however, we're going to focus on Thursday's monthly supply-demand report from the USDA. That'll come out at 11 o'clock Central Time. Let's take a look at the trade estimates for that report. And this report will highlight ending stocks here of U.S. corn, as well as South American crop projections for corn and soybeans in Brazil and Argentina. Let's look at that U.S. corn carryout. That's the bottom line and the key number in this report. Was it 1.54 billion bushels in March? The trade's looking for a slightly smaller number at 1.510. However, look at that range, 200 million bushel on that range. That's a potential for volatility on Thursday associated with this report. Speaking of volatility, let's take a look at our next slide, which shows the history of the price change of May corn futures on the date that report is released. For example, last year, the corn market was 6 cents lower when the report was released in April. Now look at that over time. There have been plenty of years there where there hasn't been much change, but there's also been several years where there's been a significant change in price movement, both to the upside and to the downside. That's why it's critical to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to have your marketing positions in place prior to the release of the report on Thursday. Let's shift gears now to South America. Specifically, we're going to look at what's going on in Brazil. Now, that corn in Brazil is approaching, in some cases, is actually already in pollination. Let's take a look at where that corn is produced in Brazil. Again, this is double crop corn after the bean harvest. The key state is Mato Grosso in that northwest area. Almost half of the double crop corn in Brazil is produced in Mato Grosso. However, there are several other states that are important: Goiás, Mato Grosso do Sul, and Paraná in the south. Now we're looking at corn development here. We're looking here at Safrinha corn silking in Brazil. We've highlighted the month of April here. And why is it so important? Because on average, about 50% of the second crop corn in Brazil is silking by April 20th. Remember, that's just less than 2 weeks away now. As we look at the rainfall patterns now in central Brazil, it's critical we see rainfall here in April because the dry season typically starts in central Brazil around the 1st of May. And the timing of that start of that dry season is very important. There's been years where the dry season starts later than that, but there's been years where it starts earlier. For the moment, there's no sign of the dry season yet in Brazil. Speaking of weather, let's take a look at the short-term trends. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. Now we're looking here at the next 10 to 14 days. There's some rain forecast across those southern areas of Mato Grosso do Sul, as well as Paraná. And there's also some rain across the north. Let's quantify that over the next 2 weeks. You can see there's ample rain forecast across Mato Grosso, that largest producing state. About a third of the crop now nationwide is pollinating in Brazil. Even in the south, it looks like they're going to get some rain. In fact, 98% of the Brazilian second crop corn is going to get normal to above normal rainfall the next 2 weeks. Let's now look briefly at the trends in exports for U.S. corn. We looked at this slide before, but it bears repeating. Looking at the 3-year high in export sales here as we speak, unshipped sales. But if we remove China, it's the second highest level of the last 20 years. Key message: year-to-date sales are 24% above last year. And if we omit China, this unshipped book of 764 million bushels is the second largest of the past 20 years and over 100 million bushels above last year. So that's what's driving the strength in old crop corn futures. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in December corn. December corn, as we tape here on Tuesday, is trading near $4.45 a bushel. Again, look at that price volatility historically from the middle of April up until harvest. And you can see there's many years there where we've seen a significant amount of price change in December corn futures. Again, that's why we strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. And remember, the USDA report will come out on Thursday, April 10th. Make sure to join our advanced trading team at 1:30 p.m. Central Time for a live detailed analysis of the report. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.